Universe.
Hello, 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 Brightside. We are warmly welcoming Twyla Garrett, who is the founder of Impact League. We're talking about investing, and we want you to join the program. We are in the league, and we have tremendously, our business has succeeded so well with her. And so she's going to tell you about the league and the different kinds of programs that you can join, as well as the $5,000 real estate. So yesterday we gave away $1,000 as a prize. So
Wow.
we know that Brightside is doing very well. So we want you to invest in the league. So over to you, Twyla. Tell us all about it.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Well, welcome to everyone that is listening today. I'm so excited to talk about the Impact League. I'm going to talk about three things: the Impact League, the Impact Investment Club, and then Impact Ready. And so, Impact Ready is a separate entity and it's going to be launching this year. I'm so excited about that. But one of the things, just some context about who I am. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been in business in entrepreneurship since 28. So I'm 30 years in, almost 30, 28 years in, and I have successfully been able to scale a business from 500 to 24 million in revenue and more. Sold that business, kind of went on my own. It started a construction firm. I used to be homeless and I used to be on welfare, and I come from Cleveland in the inner city. And so, one of the most important things I can say here is fearlessness. And fearlessness is what has gotten me through my entire journey. I remember the days, I still have my last welfare certificate when I had $10 left, and I kept that to a reminder of where I was and where I would never go back to. And so part of that is being fearless on going out and executing. A lot of my success is simply because I've executed, good, bad, or indifferent. And some failures turned into great opportunities. Some great opportunities can turn into failures. But the best thing that you can do is be able to move forward. So I started the Impact League, and why? Because I got to a point where a lot of people, I'm a keynote speaker, sought after, which I'm grateful to say that. And I've been on many stages, many stages. And normally I get a line of about 100, 150 people or more asking me to mentor them. Well, I realized that I couldn't do that one on one. And then also, I realized what you didn't know is that you don't need one mentor, you need a village. Twyla can inspire you in this way. I'm a business strategist, I know how to coach. Also, a motivational speaker. I got multiple books. But one of the things I'm not is a marketing person. But I got marketing experts that I work with, they work for me. I've actually hired them. So I went out and got a village of my Titans who are about five individual companies in different sectors. One is marketing, the other one is strategicness, the other one is optimization of systems, and then we have legacy builders, and then mindset coaching. And what I wanted to do is put a group together, virtually and in person, where we can mentor multiples and many. And so every Thursday, what happens in the league is that we have a webinar that's focused. Right now, I just did one last week on tax strategies for 2026 and wrapping up 2025, what you can do before the end of the year to have the best advantages. I'm an accountant by trade, and I've been a tax person since 16. Now, that's a whole long story, but I was doing taxes when they thought I was 18 with H&R Bach. I actually went to their school, started doing taxes, then became an accountant, and then I've always done taxes. Still been doing some people's taxes for over 30 years. And so as a result, I wanted to make sure that the Impact League gave you mentorship, different levels, right? Some people are more advanced, they need a little bit more attention. There's different price points. I'm happy to say that the league is a $60 membership for the lowest tier, and it goes to $900 a month. And that's actually individual $400 an hour, 4 hours of coaching specifically on what you need. So it's not just talking to you, it's actually getting into your business to make sure it's successful. My goal and my claim to fame has always been to take a company to seven figures. I've done that 5 times in 5 different industries. I've started a restaurant and lounge in the first year. I had the only jazz supper club in downtown Cleveland, and we opened with 2.2 million in our first year in revenue. So I pride myself in scaling. I pride myself in strategy. And so that is what the league is about. The other thing, by being homeless as a kid, I knew that it was very hard, I mean, extremely hard to even think about owning anything. And most people in the inner city don't own anything. And that's what I do not like about affordable housing. Affordable housing sometimes to me is a crutch. And I knew that as I leave my legacy, I needed to create something different. So I opened the Garrett Foundation. And what we do there is partner with the Impact League, and we start to go out and do affordable ownership. And so with that ownership, we build buildings and put in food desert solutions, which is grocery stores. And you have to turn in your Section 8 in order to get one of our units. They range from $220,000 and down. So they're affordable. They're actually your mortgage is cheaper than Section 8 was paying. It's just an amazing program in which we're wanting to expand on. But one of the things I also recognized is that passive income has been one of my biggest dreams. I've always bought real estate because I knew that was my safest bet. And especially being an entrepreneur, I invested my money in real estate because I knew passive income was key. So I opened up the Impact Investment Club. And for a minimum of $5,000, you can get into fractional ownership of multifamilies, two families and up. And we encourage that. We help set up your LLC structure. There's a net separate fee for that. But that gives you a legal entity, and then you can buy as a fractional. So you can literally own a percentage of a apartment building, and every quarter, once it's stable at 10% reserves, you are going to receive passive checks and income. And we are now shopping. We were great to have 20 people came in the initial round. We have $270,000 we're deploying, and I'm financially backing the rest of the loan. So we're looking at two families, four families, six. We got a couple 12 family units. Those would be our higher individuals. So the entry point is 5,000, 10,000, 20 and higher. And our whole goal is to get you invested. I was so proud when we had a mother that is a renter and has never owned anything, put 5,000 into the system. We have a young gentleman that's 10 years old. His grandmother put $5,000. So when that kid gets 18, he's going to have disposable uh, access to income that he probably won't need to actually look for schooling and pay for schooling. He should have it for him in those 10 years. And keep in mind that $5,000 investment is an equity investment. So that 5,000 is growing as you grow. We did not want to do fix and flips. I'm a GC. So let me just say this too. I'm a licensed general contractor with a construction firm behind me. And so now what I didn't have when I was buying on my real estate, I am that. I can do my own work. I have my own teams. I have people in Ohio and in North Carolina, and my team will travel. And so we're starting off in my hometown, purchasing some homes. I have plenty of properties there now. And we're going to do some ground up probably next year, but I'm very excited about that. And I hope you guys will look into the Impact League. It's impactleague.co, and you can go to features and go to investment clubs, and you can see more about that. And then lastly, I developed an app. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a small business, and small businesses, depending on your NICS code, can be 30 million and lower. And if you are that small business, I have developed an algorithm called RESI, which is the Risk Evaluation Success Indicator, and LAURA, which is the Loan Ability Assessment, risk assessment. And what that gives you is the ability to understand where you stand to do business with Fortune 500s. Doing business with the federal government, which I've done a lot of business with, that was my first business, is a lot more daunting and task daunting than doing business with a Fortune 500. But Fortune 500 requires a lot more paperwork and due diligence than most small businesses could ever get to. And so what we're doing is kind of getting rid of that old FICO score. FICO score looks back. My models and my algorithms, which are trademarked and patent, they are actually looking forward. They're forward facing, and they do take in consideration your credit and things of that nature. But what we don't do is just discount you. So say, for example, you were a successful entrepreneur, you had a medical issue, you got $100,000 in debt in medical, and you filed bankruptcy 5 years ago. Well, with FICO, you can't go grab money, loans, lines of credit, or anything because you don't qualify, because they're looking back at that past. So it's 5 years from now. You've got a successful business. You're on the cusp of signing a good contract, but you need a line of credit. You're still not going to be able to move any way in the needle to get financing. And so what we do now is we've partnered with banks. We partnered with the Fortune 500. We're piloting this system in California and in New York. with Verizon, a Fortune 500 company who is looking for a vetted pipeline. So my Impact Ready provides a vetted pipeline to them of businesses who have been vetted. And what does vetting mean? It means we've gone through and helped you get everything that you need in order. If you don't have good books, you can find accountants here. If you don't even have books, we show you what you can do to get the books in. There's additional costs to get your CPAs and things of that nature, but the system costs $150 a month. And what is the benefit of it is that Verizon's and the big Fortune 500s are looking at you. And once you get to a score of 65% or higher, they start mentoring you. And they're mentoring you to bid on procurements. This is no guarantee to win, but I guarantee you, if you're in Impact Ready, you are going to be primed to do business with any Fortune 500 company, and they want you. They all have requirements. Despite what this administration has taken away as far as DEI, they still all have requirements to do business with some minority small businesses. And this is for everyone. So any gender, age, race, sex, we don't care. If you're a small business, we want you to go through this pipeline, get vetted, put in the time. It will not be something you can complete in a week. It is a process that you need to complete. And once you get there and you start getting that mentorship with possible clients, it's going to be game changing for your business. It's not something that you can come out of the gate with and have zero experience on performing and expect to win a job. But this is a good place where you want to grow. If you're 100,000 and you want to get to 250, 500, there's opportunities for you in this system with those businesses. Our goal and aspiration is that all of the big Fortune 500 companies will use us as the vetted pipeline, and our use case and modeling that we're doing now between our pilot in California and in New York is going to prove that. We hope to replace the FICO score, and now businesses are asking for your Resi score, and they're going to be asking you for some other things that's going to just make it make sense. So hopefully this will be something that will get you to another level. So those are the two things that I really wanted to share with you. I hope this is beneficial for you, and we'll make sure that everything is perfectly running fine. So thank you again, Elizabeth. This is I'm more than willing to answer any questions, but this is what I would love to share.
Fantastic. And we're in the league as well. And I think in just the 2 months that we've been in, we've seen tremendous results. And I'm getting ready to do my $5,000 investment too this year with her, because I think real estate land is not going anywhere. It's not growing. You're not going to get any more land. This is it. So I
That's
know we were
true.
talking a lot about gold and investments, and everybody's going to Dubai to buy their gold. But I was like, you need to focus on the land as well.
Oh,
So
yes.
it is for you. So thank you so much.
Thank
I have
you.
some very learned people in our group. I have a privilege of meeting Ken and James, and Alan is here, and Nicole. So would you like to ask any questions to Twyla before I bring you all up for your presentations?
Twyla, if I may, Ken
Yes.
here with V Conversational. I can understand some people who hear this for the first time may have some fears because this is new to them. They've not done anything like this before. How do you help those people to step outside their comfort zone? And again, it's probably not a simple question to answer. I apologize for that. But what would you say to someone who's like, I'm excited, I'm interested, but, and then comes the list of excuses. How do you help them to maybe take that first step?
Well, I think one of the biggest ways to do that is being part of a mentor project or program. So, part of their real estate investment group, we actually have not just webinars, but we have actual gatherings. So, where we're actually buying real estate, you're going there. You're there at the table closing with us. You're there, and you're seeing if we're doing a little bit of rehab on the building, you're involved. So, part of not this when you're scared to purchase something or you're giving people money, the biggest fear is, are there crooks? But I think you want to do your due diligence. You want to check out everyone that's on board. You want to make sure that that's done. That's number one, right? To get comfortable. But two, you
Hmm.
got to get involved. I think before, what we had is that we could be able to go down the street, knock on a door, and see a client, or either go look at real estate. You really don't have that comfortability anymore after COVID, right? People are afraid to open the door. I can't get to Verizon unless I'm on a list, and got to get through security. So what we do now is we want to just pull back the veil. I am very transparent in our transactions. So I built a portal for all of our real estate investors. And in that portal, they see the deal as we're doing it. They actually see me negotiating. We videotape most of the negotiations, even if they're on phone. We have that via the phone. They see me actually at the end of the day, when we're ready to close, the people that's part of that transaction is at closing. They see the deeds, everything is there. And then once a year, because of IRS tax rules, you're able to go visit your property. Well, we have that property. We all do one pick a day and we're all going at that same time to see our property. You got to get involved. And I think once you start seeing your checks coming in, the proof then is there. You got your deed. Because I'm a skeptic, believe me. I'm coming from the hood. I question everything, right? Game, recognized game. I'm like, nah, that sounds too good to be true. And because it's too good to be true, the reason why $5,000 and I put that way, I had everyone that's in my mentoring circle that mentors me saying, Twyla, that's ridiculous. Why do you want those people to be, why is it so low? You need to be at 50,000. That's what we're used to, 50 and 100,000. I said, yeah, but see, here's the thing. I'm not doing it for people like you. I'm doing it for people like me. This is where I used to be. I still have family in the hood. And I want them to understand that ownership is possible because this is the first way to move to generational wealth. You can have all the gold you want, but you need some land and real estate in order to I've made tremendous deals and leverages just off of property. And I think not educating my hometown, my people, the people that look like me, the people who are poor, the people who think that there's no other way but a Section 8 certificate or being on welfare and getting an EBT card. No, it's a whole nother way. And you can work your way out of it. You just got to have the mindset and start to give those mindsets. So I'm always accessible. I mean, Elizabeth knows I speak on some major stages and make some great money, but at the end of the day, I'm always accessible for where I don't forget where I came. And I think having someone that's leading the charge that used to be you, that know what it is like to be you, and really want to see you out of that situation. My goal is to affect the entire neighborhood, not just you. I want to go back and instead of regentrification, I want to actually energize the hood with the people that's in it, not to regentrify it.
Yes, I think that's so important. Any more questions?
Well, Twyla, I just wanted to compliment you.
Thank
you.
you.
This is James from The Conversational. I love your passion, your experience, and mostly the thought about helping people that are inexperienced, unknowledgeable, gain access, gain coaching, and get an education for something that for most would be scary. That first idea about how do I get a home? How do I get a mortgage? How do I get it? It does take coaching and it does take some guidance and some leadership. So I love what you're doing. I think it's phenomenal. And if we can help you expand in other areas.
We do. We want this to be a repeatable model that we can pull it to any city. The inner city exists everywhere. So everywhere, anywhere, we are documenting this as use cases and we will repeat this in multiple cities and hopefully continents. What I didn't mention is that I'm building a hotel in Africa as we speak, in Ghana. So I have a 30-room hotel, boutique hotel in Cape Coast, Ghana that I'm building. First woman to design, build, and own.
And Elton is already wanting to book his trip to come to Guyana. So as soon as it's ready, we are bringing.
Yeah, hopefully December. We're shooting for December to open this year.
We're so excited about the hotel. Yes. So there you have it. We'll make sure that the links are available. We make sure that you keep talking about it. And we want to make sure that all our Brightside community gets this information firsthand. Next month is Black History Month. So we are doing Empower Black. We will bring Twyla back. And then we're doing Women History Month. So we'll have another empowering session. So thank you for joining the studio today. And I have more guests, so stay tuned and they will be on